am going to keep this energy rolling. Are you ready for your next comedian? This man has been in and out of the Cleveland comedy scene. He is a funny motherfucker. Keep it going for Mr. Sean, everybody! Thank you, sir. Y'all keep it going for all the comedians that preceded me. Give yourself a round of applause. I am a 53-year-old heterosexual male. The reason why I had to add heterosexual because in this world of common sense, everything is not so common. I grew up in the greatest decade ever, the 80s. Can I hear it for the 80s? Absolutely. So I have come to learn that we need to stop letting these kids sit at the table with grown folks. Let me elaborate on that. Absolutely. What I mean by that, with this app or that microwave hashtag society, they think they know some stuff, don't they? Absolutely. So we gotta help them learn to stay in their lane and know their position. Because some people don't know their position. And what I mean by that is that you got somebody who want to call the play, hike the ball, throw it in, catch it. We all kind of know some people like that, right? Want to arrange the set and put you over here and know that. See, some people trying to go swimming with football helmets on. Stay with me. Some people trying to run the marathon in stilettos. These are all scenarios. So we got to learn to know our position today. Like, I got a female cousin. She just came home from doing 46 months in federal prison. Yeah, I'm not trying to do 46 minutes because I don't jail well. And as I look around in here tonight, I can tell that a couple people have probably visited a facility or two. I'm not, yes, thank you by show of hands. Absolutely. I don't jail well. See, I've never been a street cat. I was just a cat who was in the streets. Big difference. See, because I came from a two-parent home. My mother and father was married my whole life. I had one address my whole life. My dad still lives there, and I still have keys. And all my brothers and sisters have the same mommy and daddy. Absolutely. So what I mean by that, I know right from wrong. That I do. So I remember this one movie when I was coming up, and the movie was called Boys in the Hood. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may have not. Well, basically, I was Trey way before Trey, for real. There's one scene in the movie where Trey asked Doe to let him out the car a couple times. Well, basically, I wouldn't have had to ask Doe to let me out the car because I wouldn't have never been in it because I'm not that type of guy. I am not a street cat. I have never been affiliated. My whole thing about life is, my culmination of the day is to make it home safely. And what I mean by that, everything, hypothetically, if I was with some people and say some illegal activities possibly had transpired, and the people and the powers that be asked me what happened, and I'm not a snitch or anything, but I'm going to possibly tell because it's going to help me to make it home tonight. Trust and believe that. Trust and believe that. So, obviously I'm single. That's a no-brainer here. So I was dating this one young lady. She said, Mr. Sean, do you think I'm beautiful? So I had to think about it. Is this a trick question? So I had to think about it because she actually looked like her daddy. Now stay with me. I'm saying, like, you know, like not handsome like a young Tom Cruise or young Brad Pitt. More like Gary Busey and Under Siege. Yeah. So I looked her in the sockets of her soul. That's her eyes. I looked in her eyes, in the sockets of her soul, and I said, honey, I don't see you with my eyes. I see you with my heart. And she actually fell for it. We've been married now, and she makes a hell of a peach cobbler. And no, I'm kidding. I'm single as hell. So I was actually dating a married woman though, and her husband called me, and I was appalled. Her husband actually called. So I did the daddy cool thing, like, man, look here, you know the game. Your girl chose me. He said, look here, young man, I will come over there and kill your ass. I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We're supposed to be brothers. I apologize for violating the sanctity of your marriage. Yes. So obviously I don't see her anymore. like I said, I grew up in the 80s. I watched a lot of TV growing up because I'm from that era where we had that thing called imagination. Obviously, we're pre-social media, so way before Facebook, I had a thing called a book face, you know, where we actually went to the library and read books and things of that magnitude. So I watched shows like Gilligan's Island and My Three Sons. Oh, I'm dating myself.
Beretta.
And Beretta, don't do the time if you can't do the crime. Watch out. So today I still kind of follow those traditions. I watch a lot of reality TV shows. And like I said, so I I used to smoke a lot of weed, but I don't anymore because it's a lot going on out there, and I got hold to a bad batch one day. So if this eye tends to wander, just look at the good eye. Okay, I can't make this up. So that song and that tune, Gilligan's Island, is very catchy and it sticks in my head periodically. So I kind of put a twist on it with like Survivor. Just stay with me. Just sit right back as you hear a tale of a trifling witch that screwed all my homies and me and gave our dumb ass the itch. Now Will was a guy from around the way who loved to brag and boast. He took her out behind the supply hut, she spit him like French toast. Now Brandon was a guy from out of town who really didn't know that the lady he was kissing in the mouth at the bar was the neighborhood stank. Oh, so you guys are keep giving it up for yourself. Thank you. You know, I traveled around actually at that house where I grew up in at 1181 East 87th at Superior. And here's the shock of the show. I actually grew up Muslim. That I did. I did the whole bow tie thing and praying 5 times a day and went to the mosque and everything. I actually did some of the things that normal Muslim kids did, you know, like snuck and ate bacon. Yeah, I had to see what all the hype was about. Hey, you know, I popped plenty of perks. That I did, and I slept with my share of white women. That I did. Yeah. I actually still got a resentment about those Christmases, man. For real, growing up, because my friends would get normal stuff like bikes and video games. You know, I would get stuff like oil burners and incense. And I can't stand incense to this day. That damn frankincense and myrrh. I'm gonna be honest, man. You know. I tried going to the clubs, you know, like I said, I used to drink, but that was very short-lived because it was kind of hard to get a bean pie at 2 in the morning, you know what I'm saying? And my guys always frowned on me for wearing that bow tie all the time, so, yeah, man. My father is one of the most devout Muslims that I know. His answer for everything is let the Creator handle it. Everything. I used to get bullied a lot. And from what I told, I wore glasses since I was 18 months old. So I remember coming home one day, and I said, Dad, D'Angelo chased me home, and he broke my glasses. He said, son, let the Creator handle it. Wow. So my father called me one day, and he was very frantic. He said, can you get over here, please? Some guys just broke into the garage, and they stole the ladder. And I said, well, okay, Dad, I'm on my way. So when I get down there, it's my father, and 2 of my brothers, and my dad got this old musket-style pistol, looked like, I swear to God, it's pre-Civil War, like a one-shooter, wrapped up in one of those prayer rugs. So we get down there. Sure enough, some guys had broken into it. Then it was some guys from the neighborhood. It was Nickel, Jerome Jenkins, the average black guy, and this dude named Tiny. And I don't know, nothing was tiny about Tiny, because he was like 350 and like 6'6". And Tiny was like one of those ruffian type guys, you know, who was known in the neighborhood for knocking people out. So we get in the minivan and we cruise the corner. Sure enough, there's Tiny, Nickel, and Jerome, and they're carrying my dad's ladder. My dad jumped out first, and I jumped out behind him. And Tiny said, "What do you want?" And I ain't no punk enough. I looked at Tiny and I looked at my dad and I said, "Look here." I put my best thug face. So I said, "Look here. Let the Creator handle it." Hey, thank y'all. That's been my time on Mr. Shine. Y'all keep it going for local comedy. Y'all have a great evening. Thank you. Here we go. One more time.
on, everybody! All right, guys, since you've been a great audience, we've added a couple guest spots. Yeah!